Hi, welcome back. I'm Brainerror, and today we are playing a free game by the same devs who did the test and all the following test games that came after that. I think I did the first one and maybe the second one, I can't remember, but the first one was very hard hitting for me at the time. It was just one of those things where the results were exactly what I needed to hear at the time. And this one is basically a similar format to what I've read, but to find your familiar, and I thought that'd be a cute little game. This was recommended to me by Lily, so we're just gonna dive in and see what it's all about. I love the old style kind of fantasy background. Diary of the Madman. Once upon a lifetime ago, where raging magic rivers flow, mana blooms from tree to tree, and creatures roam the forest free. Mythic groves sit tucked away. I read that very wrongly for a second. Where friendly critters lie in wait, familiars forgotten, left alone, just waiting for someone to take them home. Alright. This reminds me of my youth, basically, where a lot of the art was like this. Only not as intricate. For days upon days, you wander through the forest, treading through the overgrowth and unknown. The trees shift and change as you walk, branches contorting with every step. The winding paths twist and transform behind you as you progress deeper into the woods, and there appears to be no end in sight until... We're all a little mad. You happen upon a quaint, cozy-looking cottage in a dense thicket deep into the woods. You look around briefly for any signs of inhabitants, but see none. Just then, a distant voice calls to you from the trees. Aww! Frizzle Frazzle, finder of things!
Well, hello there, Wanderer. I'm so glad you can make it. I was worried you weren't going to show up today, but I should have known better. You can call me Frizzle Frazzle. I'll be the one helping you find your familiar today.
Can you be my familiar?
Every good wanderer needs an equally good familiar. But not just any familiar, no. Here at Familiar Friends, we pride ourselves on finding the perfect familiar suited for you. I almost said familiar, I don't know why. With that being said, today just so happens to be my first day on the job. But rest assured, I'm confident in my abilities, Wanderer. I'll have you know that I graduated with straight C's from the top familiar finding school in outer side Verukiv University. C stands for cats, which is the highest grade you can get, as it should be. Now, in order to find your proper familiar, I'm going to need some information from you. I'm going to ask you a series of questions, and all you have to do is provide an answer for me. Then, based on your answers, we'll be able to use our conjuring cauldron to find your familiar in the nether and bring them here for you to take home. Why don't you follow me inside so we can get started?
Alright. My familiar is still lying next to me, squashed under the desk.
Welcome to the Familiar Friends Conjuring Chambers. It's so lovely to have you here. Now I'm going to start asking you some questions, so just sit back, relax, and make yourself comfortable. Feel free to take your time when thinking about your answers. There's no rush at all, and the more you think about each question, the better results you'll have. Let's get started then, shall we? Here we go! Have you ever fallen asleep at work or school?
Yes.
Do you enjoy camping?
Yes.
Do you enjoy fishing?
No.
No. Do you enjoy hunting?
No.
Do you enjoy sweet, sugary foods?
I mean, yes, but I prefer savory. But I do enjoy them on occasion.
Would you consider yourself to be a hard worker?
Yes, when I can, I'm really hardworking.
Would you consider yourself to be lazy?
Sometimes, but in general, no.
Would you consider yourself to be an honest person?
Mostly. I mean, nobody's 100% honest, right?
Would you consider yourself to be empathic?
Yeah. Would you consider yourself to be resilient? Yes, despite what people might think.
Do you frighten easily?
Depends. It really depends. Sometimes yes, when I have a bad, like, triggery day of PTSD and stuff like that, then I frighten really easily. But sometimes I'm not bothered at all, so yes and no. But I am quite jumpy, so I'm guessing yes on that. But that's to do with trauma as well as being neurodivergent.
Would you consider yourself to have above average intelligence?
Well, I did a proper IQ test and I know I'm above average, so... Whether that's intelligence is another thing, but probably, I don't know.
Would you consider yourself to be vain?
A little bit, yeah. But it's for me, not for anybody else, like... Because people always talk shit, so it doesn't matter. And everybody has different tastes as well, so I always do it for me. People always think that I want anything like changed about my appearance for other people, for other people's approval, but that's not true. It's for me, just for me. So yes, I'm slightly vain, but if I was put in a situation where I couldn't groom myself anymore, I would also happily just become a goblin. So again, it's yes and no.
Would you consider yourself to be a good pet owner?
Oh, do you have to ask me that question? I've had a really bad run of luck with my pets. I guess. But I always think I could do way better.
Would you consider yourself to be responsible?
When my brain lets me take on responsibilities and actually do it, yes. Otherwise, I avoid responsibilities as well, so... Yes and no again, but I'll say yes for now.
Would you consider yourself to be good at keeping plants alive?
Yes, mostly. 80% of my plants I keep alive.
Are you protective of your friends and family?
Hell yes.
Do you have a lot of secrets that you keep from others?
Yeah. I mean, nobody needs to know everything, and usually secrets are kept out of my own protection. And that's not like huge things like, I don't know, I did something awful and I'm keeping that. It's just like things that people don't really need to know, because it would just put me in a position that's more vulnerable, and that's not always a good position to be in with quite a lot of people, to be honest, especially if you don't know them well. So yes.
Do you think anyone knows the real you?
No, probably not.
Do you have any irrational fears?
Yes.
Do you enjoy the forest?
Which one? Sons of the Forest? The Forest? Or the actual forest? Yes, all three.
Do you enjoy the ocean?
Yes and no. The ocean is terrifying because it's such a huge power of nature that terrifies me about the ocean. And of course you can't see what's in the ocean. You can swim in it, but you don't know what's underneath you, and that's quite scary. But if I'm not in the ocean, or not that far in the ocean, and I don't have to sail for a long time in the ocean, then I really enjoy it. I love the smell, I love the sound, I love, you know, walking the beach and going into rock pools. So from afar I enjoy it. And I enjoy all the, you know, variety of life that's still in there for now.
Would you consider yourself to be a good swimmer?
I used to be. I don't think I am anymore. What's considered a good swimmer? Like basics? Why is this music still loud? If you mean basic swimming, then yes. I can't recall the last time I swam properly, but I should probably get back into it. I used to be really good as a kid, but that's a long ass time ago.
Do you prefer nighttime over daytime?
Look, Kitty, lots of these things are not yes or no answers. I feel safer at night. I know, that's weird. A lot of people don't feel safe at night. I love walking streets in the dark. I don't like walking the streets during the day. I don't want to be perceived. Nighttime makes me feel really comfortable. When I go on my walks around the neighborhood, it's always at night. It helps that Bristol is fairly safe in a lot of areas. But yeah, daytime, I'd prefer daytime if I was out in the countryside probably. But even then, I like the night as well. So I like both for different reasons. But prefer nighttime. I mean, I'm asleep at night. And I do like to sleep. But I also like to be awake and see the sunshine and see things grow and hear birds singing and eating. So I don't know. I'm gonna say no.
Do you think life is too short?
Yes. I used to think that 80 years, like give or take, was super long. Like, what would you want to do? But now knowing that, especially if you've been through a lot of stuff and you have to heal from that and recover, and then you waste, well, you not waste, but you lose so much time. So many years of my life have been lost to recovery or being lost in like all the things that I had to deal with. And it's only now in the recent 6 years that I've come out of that, which is, you know, maybe a third of my life gone already. So if I'm lucky, you know, if I'm lucky. And I'm like, it's always a constant fear of me. It's like, what if I die tomorrow? And all I did was recover from the shit that I've been put through in my life and didn't really live life the way I wanted to. I know it's a privilege to even get this far and have that opportunity, and I know. But from my point of view, is like, all I did was survive, and then survive with the trauma that left me, and then survive with being misdiagnosed constantly, and then finding out I have ADHD, probably autistic, you know, all that. And then finally getting to that point where I am looking after myself, I am making the right decision when it comes to friendships and stuff like that, finding true people in my life and not fair weather friends that don't care about you, cutting out toxic relationships, and all that stuff, and healing and understanding myself and working on myself and blah blah blah. And so much time has passed. This just makes me sad. But yeah, life's too short. Anyway, it was a long ADHD ramble on why life is too short. So yeah, I think 80 years is not enough now.
Is being wealthy important to you?
No.
Do you care about what people think of you?
Some people, but ultimately I care what I think of me. If I feel like I've been a horrible person, then no matter what anybody tells me, it will not change my mind. Like, that's why compliments don't work on me. That's why when people go like, oh, but you've achieved all this and you've done this and you're like nice and helpful and kind and whatever, talented, whatever compliments people give me to make me like boost my self-esteem, and I'm like, okay, but I don't think that. So yeah, it doesn't affect me at all anymore. So it used to when I was younger, of course, like most people when they're younger, that kind of thing affects them a lot more. But I don't, in general, I don't really care. But yeah, a few close people maybe. If they really disliked me, it would hurt me. But then if they really disliked me, then I probably gave them a reason to. Have you ever had an imaginary friend? I did not. Oh, sorry, I didn't do your voice. I'm sorry.
Have you ever eaten someone else's food without permission?
From the fridge, maybe. Like, if somebody had cheese and I had a really bad craving, might have eaten it, but I would have like immediately tell them and I will replace it. That kind of thing. But not like a plate of food. That's just rude. So yes, I guess.
Do you think you'd make a good leader?
No.
Do you prefer to follow someone else's lead?
No. I don't, actually. I would love to. Like, one of my true desires is to find someone who can take the reins for a bit Because I always lead in a lot of things, and it makes me incredibly tired. Like, I always have to push people. I always have to, you know, make sure things happen, and like, it's tiring. Once in a while, I just want somebody to take the reins and lead me. But the thing is that I don't trust anyone, which is also an issue. A lot of people are not trustworthy and not worthy of respect. So then I don't want them to lead me because I don't respect them. So I won't follow. So I would probably say no. I don't prefer it. I would like to, but I don't think I'll ever have that opportunity to actually follow someone for a little bit. Not for always, but a little bit. No. I am a loner. I don't lead and I don't follow, I suppose.
Do you ever feel small in this great big world?
Yes.
If you could change anything about your past, would you choose to change it at all?
Yes, some things. Some things, yeah.
Do you have any deep regrets?
Yes.
Do you think you might sleep more than the average person?
Oh, I know I do. Well, I either don't or I do. I either have really bad insomnia or I have hypersomnia, which means the opposite, that you sleep too much. So, I'll probably say yes for now.
Do you find intelligence attractive?
It is attractive as long as they're not arrogant with it.
Do you work well with others?
If they're neurodivergent, probably. It really depends. I'd rather work alone, but I am a team player when I'm put in a team, so I guess.
Would you consider yourself to be creative?
No. Not really. Maybe? Does taking on 100 hobbies mean that you're creative? I can do everything a little bit. Is that creative? Maybe, I guess. I don't know.
If you could, would you use magic to make a living?
Magic to make a living? To make a living? Nah.
If you could get away with it, would you steal to make a living?
No.
Would you enjoy working in a garden?
Yes. Garden witch, garden witch.
Would you enjoy working on a ship?
No.
Would you enjoy living in a tree house?
Yes.
Would you enjoy living in an underground bunker?
No.
Are you afraid of the dark?
No.
Do you drink enough water on a daily basis?
Today I haven't. Enough water? I'm gonna say no. I need a lot of water anyway, like at least 2 liters, and I never do, so then I always feel shit. So I'm gonna say no.
Have you ever had an animal as a best friend?
Yes.
Are you good about sharing your food?
I am actually. Other people aren't.
Would you consider yourself to be selfish at times?
Yes.
Would you be happy living in the snow?
All the time? No. It has to be seasons. I don't like the same weather all year round, so I'm gonna say no.
Would you be happy living in the scorching heat?
No.
Does the weather tend to affect your mood at all?
Yeah.
Does a lack of food affect your mood?
Yes.
Would you consider yourself to be a nervous person?
Sometimes. But not as much as other people, so maybe no? Not nervous, anxious. That's not really the same thing, is it? I'm gonna say no.
Would you consider yourself to be shy?
No, I always thought I was shy. I'm just introverted and neurodivergent. There's different. Because I'm really not shy when I feel happy with the people I'm surrounded with. So, no. I don't think so. Bye, Kit Kat. She's like, you're finding another familiar, you asshole. Oh, now I can sit properly again. Hello.
Are you a curious person?
Yes.
Have you ever felt like you might not be a person at all?
No.
Do you enjoy soft, smooth textures? Yes. Are there certain foods you can't eat due to their texture?
Yeah, slimy. Usually, like, thick, snotty slime, that texture. No. Yes.
Are there certain textures that drive you crazy when you touch them?
Yes. Microfiber cloths. Blech. They stick to your skin, like they got little hooks in them. Fucking hate it. It's mostly clothes, actually. Certain clothes textures that drive me up the wall.
If you could rule the world, would you choose to?
No.
Would you ever use magic for selfish reasons?
Probably, yeah. Something like, I use magic to take my chronic pain away. That'd be great. So, I guess.
Would you use magic to help others often?
Yes.
If using magic took time off your life, would you still use it?
Depends, but probably not.
Do you enjoy listening to music frequently?
Yes.
Do you play any instruments?
No. I would love to.
Do you enjoy singing?
Yes.
Do you enjoy dancing?
I'm not good at it, so no.
Would you consider yourself to be a playful person?
Yeah?
Is having a sense of humor important to you?
Yes, but then it has to be the sense of humor that I gel with. The wrong sense of humor can really, like, have the opposite effect, so yes, but the right kind.
Do you ever wish you had more help with daily tasks?
Yes.
Do you get overwhelmed easily?
Sometimes. See, that's the thing. These are all situational, or whatever it's called. Yes, I can get overwhelmed. Again, neurodivergent. So sometimes everything is too much. And other times I do 50 like chores in a day and it's fine, and I can have bad news after bad news after bad news and I cope with it. But other days I'm like, you know, I fart and I cry. So it just it really depends. I'm just gonna say yes, I guess. I don't know.
Do you work well under pressure?
Yes. Depends. If it's work related, then yes, I'm better at working towards an imminent deadline. But I don't know. These are all not simple questions, Kitty.
Are you the type of person who rises to the challenge?
It depends what it is. I generally don't like to. If I have to, sure. If nobody else is doing it. What challenge? What do you mean? I'm gonna say no.
Do you enjoy proving others wrong?
No. I just want to be listened to.
Would you say you're adept at working with stubborn personalities?
No.
Do you try to learn something new every day?
I don't try to, but I usually learn. Not every day, but at least every couple of days or something. I come across something that I've never heard of before, or some info, which is really good. I like that. I don't do it on purpose, just happens.
Do you enjoy teaching or educating others in subjects you know well?
Teaching? No, I don't like teaching.
Do you prefer to stay up late at night?
Yes, although I really shouldn't.
Would you consider yourself to be a morning person?
No. It takes me 3 hours to wake up.
Would you consider yourself to be a people person?
No. Well, I am and I'm not. Like, I always say I'm antisocial social because I don't want to be around people, but I care for people, so. But in this case, I'm guessing they mean like, yay, let's go out and blah, blah, blah. People every day. No. No, thank you.
Would you say that you're introverted?
Yes.
Do you get along with people who are introverted?
Yes.
Do you enjoy being the center of attention?
No. Funny because I'm doing this, right?
Does positivity and optimism help motivate you?
Yes. Optimism, especially. If somebody's like cynical and negative all the time, it drags me down so much. Like, it can ruin the entire thing that I'm trying to achieve or want to do, or plans that I have. If there's constant negative feedback, it crushes me. I hate it. I hate it so much. So yes.
Would you enjoy a job working with animals?
Yeah, I did that. It kind of almost killed me, so I would say yes, but it would have to be with a good boss and good, you know, work environment. Yeah, and it really depends on what kind of work with animals. So I guess.
Do you ever feel like having pets is too much responsibility?
Not too much responsibility so much, but more like I don't want the heartache of losing them. Or when they're ill. Maybe it is like partially too much responsibility because you are playing God over a life, basically. So you have to make the decisions. So maybe yes. I mean, it's one of the reasons why I don't have kids. One of the many reasons.
Do you consider yourself to be independent?
Yes and no. See, this is another thing. I am and I'm not. I'm both. I'm both independent and I'm dependent. I mean, I don't really have the opportunity to be completely independent, mostly because of my health and my mental health. But I don't know. I can be. If I'm forced to be completely independent, I can be. I don't know. I'm like a happy in between. But I guess yes for now.
Do you sometimes care too much for others?
Yes.
Do you sometimes care too little for others?
No, never. Even people that don't deserve it.
Do you ever need alone time away from everyone else?
Yes.
Would you consider yourself to be adventurous?
Yes.
Would you consider yourself to be a good problem solver?
Good? Depends on how brain foggy I am, what I'm doing. See, it's like, and what it is, but I don't know about a good problem solver, but I can think of solutions. Whether they're good, I don't know. I would say no. Yes? Well, depends. Like problem solving in DIY, for example, I'm good at. But people's problems, sometimes my advice is useful, or like I try to help. When it's required, of course. I don't know, maybe?
Would you say you have a strong hold on your emotions?
No.
Would you consider your life to be stable?
No.
Would you ever wish to live forever?
No.
Do you enjoy basking in the sun?
Yes, sometimes.
Do you enjoy walking in the rain?
Sometimes. Depends. If I've got the right clothes, it can be quite nice.
Would you consider yourself to be a sentimental person? Yes. Do you ever feel like you're doing too much alone?
Too much alone? No. I don't think so.
Would you ever wish to be the most powerful spellcaster in the world?
No.
Well, alright then. I think the Cauldron of Conjuring has enough information. Well done, Wanderer. I'm so excited to see what familiar it's going to find for you. What do you think it's going to be? From what I've seen, there's really no telling. But one thing is for certain. The Conjuring Cauldron may not give you the familiar that you'd necessarily expect, but it does always match you with the familiar that would benefit you the most.
If it's a guinea pig, I'm going to lose my shit.
Sometimes that means matching you with a familiar that complements your strengths, and sometimes that means matching you with a familiar that's polar opposite to you in order to create balance for what might be missing. But rest assured, Wanderer, the Conjuring Cauldron has your best interest at heart, and it wants you to be happy for the rest of your days. Let's take a look and see what the Cauldron has found for us, shall we? Without further ado, your familiar is... Big Steve the Squirrel. Now that is amazing, Wanderer.
He's so cute.
Your squirrel familiar will play a pivotal role in your magical journey. They will help you cast spells, clean up your workshop, gather ingredients, and guard your stash of ancient treasure. With the squirrel familiar by your side, you'll be able to achieve great success in your sorcerer's endeavors moving forward. Some things squirrel familiars are great at include gathering ingredients from trees, stashing treasure, forgetting where they buried it, and being cute as heck! A fun fact about squirrel familiars is that they are highly adept at planting trees and dispersing spores, so you have a lot of organic materials to work with in spellcasting. Perks of having a squirrel familiar now help you learn new forest spells. You'll never run out of seeds and nuts. You have tons of materials growing at random places in your yard. As long as you treat your familiar with kindness, patience, and love, and keep them well fed so they don't get hangry, they will be your best friend through thick and thin. I think you and your new familiar are going to be so happy together, and believe me, in time, you'll complement each other quite well. Alright, go ahead and get out of here. You and your familiar have some adventuring to do. Stay safe, Wanderer. And I'm sure we'll be meeting again, perhaps even sooner than you think. Bye, Steve!
Whoa! What's this music about?
Magic swirls in pure delight. Conjuring cauldron glows so bright.
Is this like an intro to a new game that they're developing? Because that'd be pretty cool.
Eyes of owl, wings of bats. Find your friends.
So cute. I'm going to be copyrighted for this, I know, but...
Whiskers long, tail so sweet.
yeah, I really enjoyed that. It was a cute little test, you know?
Friends you seek. Familiar friends, they come alive.
Yeah, I think this is gonna be a game that they're planning on releasing.
They arrive.
Nobody makes an entire ass song with lots of key art for just a test, so...
Across the land.
oh my god, they're so cute.
Stars align and
I love that I have two polar opposite sides. Like, it's either super cute that I'm into or really dark shit.
here at last. One by one.
And yeah, I don't have many AFAB watching me. Come on now.
From the smoke, pure and clear. Potions mix and brew.
I love it.
Friends for me and you. Here's an honor. There's a cat. Cauldron magic. Fancy that. Familiar friends, they come alive. From the cauldron, they arrive.
What a great song.
Heart to heart and paw to hand. Together we journey across the land.
Interesting. Oh! Thank you so much for taking the time to play Familiar Friends. We really hope you enjoyed the experience. We would like to take a moment to share a sentiment from our team to you. We appreciate all of the support players have given us over the years, and we wanted to give players a short, relaxing, comfortable, and cute experience that differs from some of our other titles. Yeah, because the test was insane. We understand that the world in general is a very tough spot at the moment, and people are struggling mentally, physically, and financially. This is why we've decided to make this title completely free. We know that times are rough, and not everyone can afford more than the basic necessities in life at the moment. Beyond this, we really just wanted to create something cute and casual that might make you smile. So this game is our way of hopefully providing you with a temporary distraction from the struggles of life with no cost out of your pocket. We appreciate you, and we really do hope you enjoy what we've created. As we do with all of our games, we would like to offer you an opportunity to be chosen as a character in our future games. Many of the characters you see in our games are actually the names of players. Oh, Steve the Squirrel. Or names chosen by players from previous titles. In Familiar Friends, for example, each name of the familiars are all chosen from players who have left comments in the past. There are over a dozen names chosen by players who left a comment in this title alone. If you wish to be part of the upcoming titles and you have your name selected to be in a future game, please leave a comment for us detailing which familiar you were matched with. Oh, you know, the thing is... Okay, so I got a message from these developers, or one of the people involved with the test. And they sent me a message saying, if you left... Because remember they said, like, leave the comment with what you got, what your result was, and we'll get back to you in the future. But that was so long ago that I kind of forgot about it. And then when they did actually reach out, I thought it was phishing. They were phishing for something. And I didn't actually believe it was the actual, like, someone from the dev team reaching out. I have since then added them as a friend on Steam, and I will actually message them, because they did say, like, give us a name that you would like one of the characters in our future productions to be named as. And I was like, I just didn't believe it, you know? It's really bad, but now they're saying the same thing again in their credits, so I'm like, I should just... I should just do it. You know, Steve the Squirrel would like there to be a little Brainerror running around in a game somewhere, you know? Brainerror the guinea pig. Oh. But yeah, it would be nice to have that. So yeah, I'll leave a comment again with my results, but I will also contact them to see if I can still get my suggestion of a name in for one of the other titles. But yeah. Participation is completely optional, so if you do not wish to be in a game or choose the name of a character to appear in a future title, then simply leave your familiar out of your comments and we will not select you. We read each and every comment we get on all of our titles, so none are missed. We also use these comments to help develop future titles, such as our big project Chasing Demons, which you can now wishlist on Steam. If you're new to our titles, then just know that each person is given a word unique to them from each of our games, which they will then be able to combine in Chasing Demons to create a custom-tailored gaming experience specific to each individual. Which means that what happens in your playthrough of Chasing Demons may not appear in your friend's experience when they play, ensuring that each player gets their own unique version of the game. That's really cool. Once again, thank you all so much for your support, and we hope to see you again in the next one. Until next time, treat each other with kindness, stay positive, and always remember, it might be stormy now, but it can't rain forever. That's very true. And on that note, I'm going to leave this here. As always, they left it with a really good message. I love these devs. I will definitely reach out to them. And if I don't, I hope they come into my DMs and kick my butt. But yeah. This was really cute, and it ended on a really good message, so yes. There's nothing else I can add to that, so thank you so much for joining me. As always, let me know which familiar you got, and I will see you when I see you.